Jimmy, triangles on the field, relationships are so important. Talk to us about the relationship between you and Hannes, being that he's his first year with the team, but also I think a lot of people expected him to be more of a wide player, but he started as the number 10.
Yeah, I think it's obviously very nice to have him. He's a fantastic player. I think he's sort of similar to Santi in the fact that he can play out wide or up the middle, and he is new to our club and our system of playing. But when he's training and in the games, you can tell he's played at a high level. His decision making is very quick. He keeps it simple when he needs to, and he can kind of create the game when he needs to. So I think he's going to be a massive addition to our team, and it is nice that he has that sort of positional flexibility.
Correct.
You're facing St. Louis for the first time. Is there anything different for facing a team that you've never seen before, at least on the field, and others that you play often per se?
Yeah, I think the focus always starts with us, so it's going to be how we can impose our style of play on the game. Having said that, you have to respect a little bit what they do, and they're a very good counterattacking team. They play a lot in transition, so we have to kind of be aware of that. And anytime you get to play in a kind of a new stadium and in front of new fans, it's a cool experience.
Christian?
Hi, James. Nick touched on there that St. Louis have quite a distinct style in terms of that pressing and intensity. As someone that's played teams like that before, do you find that the mental application or the technical application becomes more influential in terms of getting a win?
It's definitely a little bit of both. I think, for me, I would more so say the technical application, because those teams are waiting for a mistake, a bad touch, a bad pass. That's kind of what they live for. And I think St. Louis is similar to Red Bulls in a lot of ways, and that they'll kind of let you have the ball, and then they'll wait for that one moment where they can steal it and then go in transition. So I think we got to kind of be aware of that, and be willing to take chances, stretching their back line and putting the ball behind them and making them face their own goal.
Scott?
Hey, James, I appreciate the time as always. After the struggle that you guys had last year, how big in this case was the offseason and the first few games to shed what last season was?
Last season was a disappointment through and through. It was my first season with the club where we didn't make playoffs, but we worked hard to put that behind us. And I've been really happy with the preseason we had. I think physically we're all in very good shape, and they've showed us some data from the first game, and we're well ahead of where we were at this point last year. So I think that's a real positive. And I think we've added a lot of new players who are really going to help. And anytime you have new people in the building, it kind of brings a positivity that we were maybe missing towards the end of last year. So I think the opening weekend was a tough result, but we're all feeling good going forward.
Michael?
Yeah, James, thanks for making the time. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Nick. It seemed like in Charlotte, you guys had the first 8 minutes sort of bothered you a little bit, the environment, getting started the way you guys wanted to play, and eventually found your footing and imposing your style onto Charlotte. What are you guys doing as players to sort of ensure that this weekend against St. Louis in another rowdy kind of atmosphere, that you guys come out ready to play from the start?
Yeah, I think that's going to be very important this weekend. I think having that first game under our belt is important. I don't think it's going to be any more difficult than Charlotte was. Charlotte was 60,000 people, artificial field, windy, everything that could go against you was kind of at play that night. So I think, having gone through that experience, especially for a lot of the younger guys on our team, I think it'll just help us moving forward. And, I think the biggest credit I can give our team is we, fought through that, and we, started to really get control of the game and, the end of the first half and the second half. So, as you said, it's going to be important to start that way on Saturday.
Chris?
Hey, James. Chris Campbell from the outfield. from the Charlotte game, they look specifically attack the your hybrid, corner defense with the goal they scored. How does the team look to adjust as perhaps more teams look to kind of find ways to to say screen the zonal players on the defensive line?
Yeah, I think it was definitely our own fault that we conceded that set piece. It was nothing wrong with our structure. It was just individual moments on that play that cost us. And I think set pieces is something we've worked on a lot. So it was a little disappointing to concede that one, but we've talked a lot about as a team that the structure is less important than the mentality that you kind of attack those situations with. If you go at it with the mentality that you're gonna win the first ball no matter what, then regardless if the structure is perfect or not, it should give you a good chance.
God, they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.